how to create a server with Node.js and Express. If you haven't already, make sure to install Node onto your system so everything here will work correctly for you. Links to the resources and source code will be available below in the description. Let's get started. In Visual Studio Code, let's start by creating a new terminal and more specifically a command prompt. And now I can close out of the PowerShell. The command we want to run here is going to be npm install express, so we can actually install the Express framework. And this is also going to set up our package.json and the node modules folder. Now we can create a new file called the server.js, and the first thing we need to do here is import Express. So we'll create a constant variable called Express and make this equal to require Express. Then we'll go ahead and do the same thing, but this is going to be a constant variable called app. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to create our Express application. Next, we want to create a port variable where this application is actually going to run. So we'll say constant port 3000. Next, we want to create a route for our home page. So I'll say app.get, and we want to display this on our root, so we'll just go ahead and put in a slash like so, and then we also need to pass in the request and the response here. And now we can just go ahead and finish out our function syntax. And then what we want to do is actually display something on the front end, so we'll say response.send, and we just want to send back a basic string to display on our front end for testing purposes, and this will just say hello from Node plus Express. Next, we need to tell our app what port to listen for, so we'll specify app.listen, and then we want to pass in our port variable, which again is going to be 3000. And for now, we can just put empty parentheses here and finish out our function syntax. And then just for testing purposes, I'm going to say console.log, and inside of this, I'm not going to use quotations. I'm actually going to use backticks. And I'm just going to say server running on localhost. And then since we're using backticks here, I can use $ followed by curly braces and actually use our port variable here. And I'll go ahead and add these semicolons here. And now we can actually start up this server. So in our command prompt, we can run node server.js and hit enter. What you guys are going to see down here is it says server running on localhost 3000, which is this console.log statement. So we know that it is listening to the correct port and the server is running. The next thing we need to check is we need to actually look for this response right here. So what we'll do is hold control and open up our localhost 3000, and I'll go ahead and drag this in. And now on the front end on localhost 3000, you can see the text hello from Node plus Express, and now we know this server is successfully running. Next, I want to go ahead and create a basic API route. So between the get and the listen, what I'm going to do is say app.get, and then I actually want to type in a custom route right here. So I'm going to say API/data, and the API also needs a slash in front of it. And then again, we want to use the request and response parameters, finish out our function syntax, and we want to respond with some data as a JSON. Inside of this, we need to include a basic object since we're passing this as a JSON, and I'll just say message, and I'll just go ahead and put the string. This is JSON data from the server, and make sure to include my semicolons. Next, since we just created this code, we want to go ahead and stop the server here with Control-C, and then go ahead and reboot it up with node server.js. Next, I'm going to open back up localhost and go ahead and refresh this. And if I navigate to the localhost/API/data route, you guys will see that our message is displaying right here. that we created with this basic API route. That's going to be it for today. If you guys want to go more in depth, I do have a video showing you how to create a full stack MERN application. I'll leave that link right at the end of today's video and down below in the description if you guys want to check it out. If you run into any problems or have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me through the comments underneath this video and I will respond to you. Thanks for watching.